we need to talk about Social Security. And now the new common consensus amongst lawmakers is they want to do right by the American people and provide for the American people, ensuring that the American people are getting the benefits that they deserve. Now, with that said, there's some big changes coming to Social Security. I want to explain what these are potentially going to look like and why this could actually be good news or bad news to millions and millions of people. So, all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoyed these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So the consensus amongst lawmakers is that they want to do right by the American people. That's great, but what has taken them so long? Well, this is what I want to get to. It says the Senate begins the final push to expand Social Security benefits for millions of people. It says decades in the making, the bill would repeal 2 federal policies that broadly reduce payments to 2 groups of Social Security recipients. Now, we're going to get to that in a moment. Okay, I want to explain what's going on there. But first, you need to understand that this is something that's been discussed for several years. Decades they've been talking about this. I think this went through in the 80s or something like that. But here's what's going on. It says Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said last Thursday that he would begin the process for a final vote on the bill, known as the Social Security Fairness Act, which would eliminate policies that currently limit Social Security payouts to roughly 2.8 million people. Now, this is big, and the reason why this is such a big thing is simple. People have been paying in thousands and thousands of dollars every single year to Social Security, yet they aren't going to get their full benefits because they receive a pension. So people that worked in the government, right, teachers, firefighters, law enforcement officials, they're not getting their full benefits simply because they are receiving a pension. Now, lawmakers are saying this isn't right. We need to return this. We need those people to get their full benefits. Now, here's where things get interesting. This bill, okay, look at this. It says proposed bill risks $196 billion hit to Social Security, accelerating its insolvency. Now, there's about $196 billion that this is going to be in addition to our current deficit. This is going to go over 10 years. Well, this is where lawmakers are currently standing. Lawmakers say that these workers paid into Social Security, so it isn't right that they are punished just because they have a pension. Well, guess what? Other lawmakers are saying this exact same thing on the opposite side. So not necessarily giving more benefits to the lower income earners, but let's make sure that the higher income earners, people that have paid into Social Security for years, for decades, now we can't punish them just because they are millionaires or billionaires. Other lawmakers have come out and said we shouldn't be giving a Social Security check to somebody that makes $1 billion a year, or to a CEO that makes $20 to $30 million every single year. It makes absolutely no sense. Guess what? This is where other lawmakers are coming back and saying, well, you say that we need to be fair. We need to ensure that every single person that paid into Social Security is receiving their benefits, right? And they say, yep, that's true. Well, guess what? People that are illegal immigrants, that have worked in the United States illegally, have technically paid into the system. Should they be getting benefits too? Others say no, but some say yes, they should. Again, this is where it gets very interesting. Now, here's where things get even more complex. Donald Trump has a plan for Social Security, and his plan is to ensure that nobody is paying taxes on their Social Security benefits. That if you receive Social Security, your benefits should not be taxed. That's something that went into effect, I believe, in 1984 because the last bill, the last big reform bill in 1983 that said, you know what? We need to tax these benefits. we need to ensure that some of this money is coming back. So essentially, the government is giving you money, but yet taking it right from you. Because again, you got to pay taxes. Donald Trump says, no, we can't do that. But his plan for Social Security risks undermining its future and actually speeds up the insolvency date. Now, I want to show you this. It says, however, the reality is far more complicated and potentially disastrous. By law, taxes on Social Security benefits are funneled back into the Social Security and Medicare trust funds. Ending this revenue stream would have serious financial consequences, accelerating the insolvency for both programs. This would put the benefits that millions of American seniors depend on at grave risk. Okay, here's where we're at. Lawmakers are trying to discuss, and this is where it's turning into disaster. Lawmakers have been discussing for several years, do we cut benefits today to ensure that the insolvency date gets pushed back? Or do we leave benefits as is? We don't increase the tax rate. We don't increase the tax cap any more than inflation. Do we do all those things and just leave it as is? And then in 2034, when there is an insolvency, we can address it at that time. Some say that's the best thing to do. Some say, let's just wait until the insolvency date, and whichever party is currently in control, they can discuss it then. They can address the issue at that time. Now, this is why it's a huge controversy, because we don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know what the economy is going to be like at that time. If the economy is booming, stocks are up, real estate's up, everyone's making money, everyone's working, right? Everyone's healthy. There's no pandemic, no issues, no nothing, no world conflicts. Then possibly, and as long as inflation's low, interest rates are fairly stable, right? It would be fine that we could potentially figure something out at that point. But the way the parties have been going, the way Republicans and Democrats just go back and forth, the Republican Party doesn't want Democrats to get a win. Democrats don't want Republicans to get a win. The American people are the ones that are really impacted and hurt. Some say that maybe that's not the best way to go. But the reason why I bring this to your attention is all because of this bill. Okay? All because we now know that the Senate is going to try to vote on this and expand Social Security to millions of people. But that's only going to speed up the insolvency of Social Security. Now, do I have any good news for you? Not really. In regards to Social Security, no. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, those are all programs that are being looked at. They're being looked at through a microscope, because there's been billions of dollars in wasted funding that went to Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. Okay? Not for the American people. Okay? Not necessarily that you're going to see a cut, but lawmakers and specifically Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, who are going to run the Department of Government Efficiency, have said that these are programs we have to look into, because there's been billions of dollars of wasted funding that have gone into fraudulent claims. People that are getting Social Security benefits or Medicaid, Medicare, whatever, in multiple states through many names, right? Different Social Security numbers, right? Frauds happening all over. They say we need to crack down on that. We also need to ensure that if people are not supposed to be getting Social Security or shouldn't qualify for certain benefits, that they don't get it. And we stop paying this out. So we're going to see what happens. The only thing I can tell you right now is this new Social Security bill, this has a lot of people questioning what the true intentions are of this government. So we'll see what happens moving forward. The one thing I can promise you is I will be here every step of the way, and I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. That is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.